cabin crew interview formats. Introduction to the module. The cabin crew recruitment process comes with a long list of procedures, and facing an interview is one of the substantial ones. There are several kinds of interview formats that cabin crew aspirants go through. In this module, some brief ideas about each type of interview formats are given below. Topics to be covered in this module are: the cattle call, small group interviews, one-on-one interviews, sample group interview questions, sample one-on-one interview questions, the physical. The cattle call. Airlines use a variety of interview formats, techniques and questions when hiring cabin crews. The first type of interview is affectionately known as the cattle call, in which airlines invite several hundred applicants to various conference hotels throughout the country. Each person fills out a questionnaire, introduces themselves in front of the crowd, and has a minute or two to say a bit about themselves. Strong applicants are then invited to a personal interview or group interview that day, and perhaps a follow-up interview at headquarters. The cattle calls are a great way for companies to attract a large group of people in a short period of time and cut down on the expense of bringing so many new faces to the home base for the first round of interviews. Most airlines use this kind of approach when they are expanding and hiring a lot of people very quickly and trying to fill training classes, especially when opening a base in a new city. The nature of these interviews can vary, although some who have been through them see them as stress interviews in which candidates are asked to give a spontaneous speech. Small group interviews. The next round is the small group interview, usually done at the company's headquarters, but sometimes in home cities during cattle calls. In this scenario, 8 to 12 applicants are seated in a line, and a series of questions are thrown out to the group. The recruiters leave it to the applicants to answer in whatever order they choose. You should be sure to jump at some questions, wait on others, and answer in the middle of everyone else during most of the questions. Someone who answers first all the time will be seen as having too strong of a personality and likely to make waves. Someone who answers last or hesitantly is perceived as unlikely to be able to handle and engage a large number of people on a flight. When answering somewhere in the middle, it is difficult to avoid repeating the previous applicant's answers and to be inventive, while also providing continuity with what others have said. Complimenting others on a great answer is a nice idea, but it shouldn't be phony. If you end up belittling or embarrassing another applicant, you'd likely have no problem doing the same with a passenger, so always be nice and never interview with a bad edge. Basically, the interviewers are looking for good listening skills, good eye contact with other candidates, an ability to speak clearly and without hesitation, body language and poise that says I look good and will make this company look good. It's also crucial to show sensitivity to others' answers. There will always be someone who says something silly, or an applicant who just doesn't cut it. Don't roll your eyes when you hear a mediocre answer. One-on-one interviews. Airlines try to get former or current cabin crews to interview, though they are sometimes conducted by HR personnel without flight experience. It's a good idea to try to find out about the background and interests of your interviewer before going too deep into your own answers. If the interviewer was a cabin crew, you might want to include more stories about your experiences as a passenger and the experiences of cabin crew friends who have told you about the job. This can show that you have a better understanding of the life of a cabin crew, but if you haven't done your homework, it might show you still have a lot to learn about the job and lifestyle. Focus on your knowledge of the industry and things that might pertain to your interviewer's own experiences. Talk from more of a layperson's perspective on the expectations of a passenger and general customer service. You will want to include insight from both the cabin crew's and layperson's perspectives. Pretend that the interviewer is a passenger and note how differently you would relate to a mother traveling alone with her child versus an executive business traveler, or a 24-year-old coming back from a night of partying. If you're coming from another industry, you need to demonstrate an understanding of both the ups and downs of being a cabin crew and how it might differ from a prior career. You might say, for example, that you lost interest in never-ending projects and the finite nature of flights appeals to you. You should then point out that you are used to and happy with long hours. You would not want to say that you left because you hated working weekends all the time, since cabin crews often work weekends and holidays. Or, if you often felt trapped by working in the same office every day and longed for variety, you can argue that you're a good fit for the constantly changing atmosphere on different flights and in different towns. Beyond education and experience, other skills the airlines are always looking for include foreign language training or medical background. If you actually come from a foreign country, remember to pack your passport and work visa for the interview, as an airline will only sponsor you for a work permit if they're starting service to a new destination and can't find UK citizens who speak the language. Advanced computer skills aren't necessary for cabin crews, but you should demonstrate that you are comfortable with computers. You likely have to use them for sign-in, flight changes, checking in during leisure travel, trading trips, and registering for healthcare benefits, among other things. Skills from past jobs can also help in the interviews. Any kind of medical or security training will be attractive to the airline, as nurses and doctors have a natural affinity for caring for and nurturing people. For the same reason, teachers also make very desirable cabin crews. People coming from law enforcement are good at maintaining order and following rules and regulations. But no matter your background, warmth and kindness are essential requirements. The interview's goal in the one-on-one interviews is to find out more about your tolerance for stress, your boundaries and breaking points.